welcome you to the module 2 of Microsoft Excel. In this module, we're going to look at basic formatting. That is setting up borders, merging of cells, and text wrapping. These are the various aspects that we're going to look at in this module. And I believe after watching this video, we should be able to set borders, merge cells, and also text wrapping. And also, as an Excel expert, you should be able to do some of these things. Okay. So we're going to start with borders. How do we set borders and why do we set borders? All right. So by default, this worksheet, if you print a worksheet or you export it as PDF, the grid lines disappear. They disappear. So this data I have here, a class of 19 students with their scores, grade, and position. So if I want to print this data, after printing it, these grid lines will disappear. Or if I export it as PDF, these grid lines are going to disappear. But then I want to set borders for them. I want to have borders between borders on my data. So how do I apply it? Okay, so follow the steps. So I'll select the whole data and I'll come to the home tab of the ribbon. Under the font group, I have what we call borders here. So I click on the drop down, and as you can see, we have several styles of borders: bottom border, top border, left border, and the rest. But in this case, I want to set borders for all. Alright, so I'll look for all borders. Alright, so I'll select all borders, and as you can see, I have my data having border lines, both vertical and horizontal border lines that I've applied to the whole data. So if I print this data or export it as PDF with the grid lines disappearing, but I'll still have my data having these border lines, these vertical and horizontal border lines. Okay, so this is how we set up border lines. So this is all borders. So let's assume and take note, when you are selecting when you're applying the borders, you apply to a certain range of what cells. So let's assume I want to apply borders to this range of cells. Okay, so after I select or highlight this range of cell, I'll come there, click on the drop down. Maybe I want bottom border. Yes, so if I pick the bottom border, you can see I have this bottom. Sorry, as you can see, I have this border button here. So there are several border lines. Take note, several. If I want top, you can see I have a top border. All right, there are several. So this is how we set up borders. All right, this is how we set up borders. Very, very important. So you should know how to set up borders and when you are supposed to set borders for your document. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at is cell merging. Yes. And before the cell merging, sorry, I didn't talk about how to remove the borders. Yes. So after setting the borders, maybe you don't need the borders again. So how do you remove it? So the same, you can select that cell range, and then you come to the borders and then you choose no border. So if I pick no border, as you can see, I have my borders removed. Okay, so this is how we set up no borders. All right, take note. So if you have a document or a data that consists of borders and you are required to remove them, this is the procedure you should follow. All right, take note of that. So the next thing we're looking at is cell merging. How do we merge cells and when do we merge cells? Okay, so merging of cells. When a text entry is too long for its column width, it either spills over into the next cell or gets cut off visually. What it means is that, let's assume I have University of Cape Coast. So I have University of Cape Coast. Let's assume this is my title. I want this as a title. As you can see, it has written into how many cells? 3 cells. Yes, but I want it in one cell. All right, what am I going to do? So I have to merge these 3 cells into one larger cell. Okay, and mostly many of us have this challenge. Sometimes you're trying to create a title for your worksheet, and you see that at the end, after typing, you see that it's being split into multiple cells. Yes. So when it's split into multiple cells, worry not. After this video, you should be able to merge it. So you have to merge those multiple cells into one cell. Okay. So how do we do that? So you have to first of all select the cells that the test have split into. Okay. And then you come still under the home tab of the ribbon. Under the alignment group, we have what we call merge and center. Okay, so this merge and center is mostly used for titles. Okay, when you are creating prominent main titles, yes, so you can use merge and center. Okay, so if I click on merge and center, as you can see, I have University of Cape Coast uh, being merged into one larger cell. Those three cells have been merged into one larger cell. So take note of that. So there are several merge styles. Okay. So if I want to pick, I want to merge across. So merge across. See, I have it. So the merge and center, it will merge the three cells and it will center the text. Take note of it. To center the text, and mostly for titles. Take note of that. All right. So if I want to remove this merge, yes, after merging the cells, I want to unmerge. How do we do that? So you have to select it back again, select, and then you come back. Sorry, let me go back to my merge. All right, so I have the merge. So what you do is that you come back to the merge drop down menu, and then you pick unmerge, which is last. So I'll click on merge, and as you can see, I have my individual photos being split into the initial three cells that we have. Okay, so this is how we merge cells. Take note of that. Very, very important. There are situations that uh, you have to merge your cells. Very, very important. So the next thing we are going to look at is test wrapping. Okay, test wrapping. Why do we test wrap? And what is wrap test or test wrapping? So what it does is that the test wrapping forces a long line of text to wrap onto a multiple vertical lines within the exact same cell width. It automatically increase the row height. Okay, so let's assume I have a long column headers or a description. Let's assume I want to give a description of this particular data. Let's say exam performance of GHS 2. Okay, exam performance of GHS 2. So this is my description. So and I want to test rapid. So I want this exam performance of GHS 2 uh, to wrap onto multiple vertical lines. Yes. So what I'm going to do, I will select it, and then still under the home tab of the ribbon, under the same group of alignment. So I have to the top of the margin I have what we call wrap test. Okay, so I'll click on it. If I click on it, as you can see, I have my exam performance of GHS2 in this form. Okay, or in this increase row height form. Take note of that. So this is how. So mostly test wrap is good when you have long column headers, and also when you want to give descriptions or paragraph notes. So you have to wrap test. Yes, for you to have your long column headers and description or paragraph notes successfully created. So I believe after at this point, you should be able to merge cells, and you should be able to wrap test. And when you are supposed to do that, very, very important. Also the borders, you should be able to set up borders. Yes, and when you are to when you are to set up borders, take note of that. So these are the three aspect that we've looked at in this model. In our next model, we're going to look at core mathematics functions and basic arithmetic.